Welcome to Release Readiness Live. I'm Elna Miller, your host for today. We are coming to you from our home studios again to share some of the new features in the Spring 21 release. After our product team shares the highlights, we're going to take some time to answer your questions live on the air. We will be monitoring both the Release Readiness Trailblazers community as well as Twitter. So please post your questions early and use the hashtag Salesforce Live. For your longer, more detailed questions, we recommend posting those in the community so the conversation can continue after the webcast. If we don't get to your question live on the air, don't worry, we'll be sure to follow up with you within a few days. All of our webcasts will be available for later viewing on the Salesforce Live website. And since we may be covering the roadmap and making some forward-looking statements, we ask that you please make sure that any purchasing decisions you make be based on currently available functionality. Now, let's get started with Sales Cloud and meet our product managers.
Thanks, Elna. Hi, everyone. My name is Emmett Chenran, and I'm an associate product manager on Sales Cloud. I am so excited to be sharing all the new features that we have coming up in the Spring 21 release with you. We've been working hard to bring you value in the features that you and your users prioritize the most. So I can't wait to tell you all about them. All right, let's get to it.
First off, I'd like to talk about mobile forecasting. If you've been following along with the past few Release Readiness Lives, you know that mobile forecasting has been a staple of core Sales Cloud. Last release, we achieved Android parity with iOS, and now we're proud to announce that you can adjust your forecasts using the Salesforce mobile app. It's very simple. On the forecast screen, just select the forecast you want to adjust, tap Adjust, and change it. You can even add notes or commentary to the adjustment to provide extra thoughts or business context. That was easy, right? Let's move on to the next feature, Opportunity Products. This is a feature that is near and dear to my heart, as my team owns everything related to opportunities. Your users can now represent any relationships between an opportunity product and another object by way of the lookup relationship field. This other object can be any standard or custom object, and you can even make your page layouts highlight this relationship to draw your users' attention to it. Let's see how to do this. Say your reps want to associate a contract with each opportunity product. What you'll want to do is navigate to the contract object in your org's object manager, click on Fields and Relationships, and create a new lookup field relationship. Now, here's the fun part. You'll be able to look in this dropdown and find Opportunity Product. Then, navigate through the rest of the setup process. And now, when your reps look at an opportunity product, they'll be able to easily associate the relevant contract with that opportunity product. All right, that was pretty straightforward. Let's switch it up and get a little more technical. For those of you that like to get your hands dirty with the API, this is for you. Using the Salesforce API, you can now convert leads into two different accounts at the same time, an individual account and a business account. This is perfect for use cases where your customers are a mix of individuals and groups. For example, think of a phone plan where each member of a family needs their own data and minutes, but all of them subscribe to a joint family plan. When you convert that lead, you can use new arguments available on the lead convert class to convert it into an existing or new person account instead of a contact. Another super exciting feature coming to the Calendar View API is the ability to set up an optimal calendar home tab for all your users. As you probably know, Lightning Calendar has always been about more than just displaying my events. Several special CRM-powered calendar types can overlay. The Calendar View API has been expanded to cover all the special calendar types. This means less time spent explaining to end users how to do all the setup clicks themselves. Instead, create all your end users' object calendars, public calendars, shared calendars, resource calendars, and user lists for them. And the best part is, this can be done at scale. You can set this up for any number of users at once. Speaking of optimality, let's talk optimal time of day. If you post on social media regularly, you know all about guessing at the best time of day to send off that new Instagram picture to your followers. Sometimes you do it during the post-lunch lull. Sometimes it's the Sunday night procrastination period when you know everyone's going to be on their phones because they're putting off their work due Monday morning. When it comes to sending emails, thankfully it's a little easier to ascertain when the best time is to catch your recipient's attention. The best time is usually 9 a.m. the next morning. Humor me and pretend that I am a sales rep eager to show off the new shipment of widgets that my company has received to my client, Kate. She sounds equally excited to see the widget demo, and now all I need to do is schedule the demo. The only thing is, she's on Israel time, and I want to schedule my reply to her email to send at 9 a.m. her time. Before this release, I would have only been able to schedule newly composed and unthreaded emails to send later. But now, I can schedule my reply to send at 9 a.m. Israel time. Easy peasy. I'm also confident that my email will be delivered, because Salesforce will notify me if it bounces. Previously, I would have only seen if the email hard bounced. If, for example, I mistyped Kate's email and the email sent to a non-existent address. But now, I'll also be notified if the email soft bounces. Soft bounces happen sometimes when the recipient's email inbox is full or when there are DNS routing issues. Lastly, our Sales Cloud teams have been hard at work building a bunch of extra functionality for Lightning email templates. Users can now manage templates using packages and change sets, which allow them to test templates and automations in sandbox environments. There is also a dizzying array of new automations that Lightning templates can be embedded into, including email alerts, process builder, approval processes, and more. Now your users can set up an email alert that is triggered by a certain event and have it use a Lightning email template. To save even more time, users can now duplicate email template components with the click of a button. Previously, they were having to recreate components all the time. With all these new productivity bells and whistles, it has truly never been easier to send an email. To wrap it all up, I want to remind you and your users that Territory Management 1 is set to be phased out by next release, so please migrate over to Enterprise Territory Management if you haven't already. The new Territory Management tool has never before seen brand new functionality and better performance to boot. Go check it out, you won't regret it. And since this is Salesforce, you know as well as we do that there's never a dull release. In the upcoming releases, we'll be making custom forecast measures generally available. Your users will be able to go beyond forecasting on plain old revenue and forecast on any numerical or currency field, like ARR or ACV. This GIF on the right side of the screen shows you just how easy it'll be to set that up. It's just a 7-step wizard, and then you're good to go. In addition, we'll be expanding forecasting types to allow for 7 different types, allowing you to forecast by types like product family or territory. We're also working on making your data and the data of your customers more secure all the time. Currently, Shield platform encryption is available for some personal identifying information fields, like first and last name, email, and phone. In upcoming releases, we'll be adding birth date to the mix and giving your orgs more flexibility than ever.
Thanks so much for listening. That was just a subset of all the features we're shipping to you this release. And now, I'll hand it off to another Sales Cloud product manager, Samir, to talk about high-velocity sales.
Thanks, Emmett. Hi, everyone. My name is Samir Sharma. I'm one of the product managers in the high-velocity sales team. I'm here to talk about how high-velocity sales is working hard to help your sales team sell in a challenging COVID-19 environment. Let's jump into the new features available in the Spring 21 release. We recognize during these tough times, your whole sales team is working from home, and this is why we've extended the opportunity object to sales cadences. For the first time, your deal closers can now leverage sales cadences to run fast. Now you can maximize success from the top of the funnel to deal close. We've also added enhancements to the cadence object. Now you can deactivate a cadence and take it out of action. Lastly, we've added enhancements to engagements, cadence metrics, and cadence dispositioning. Let's see it all in action. Sales cadences can now be deactivated or simply retired. This component will now display all cadence steps, instead of just calls and manual emails. We no longer display engagement metrics, but will show manual completions and skipped steps. When adding contacts to a cadence, users can now associate an existing or new opportunity to cadence assignments so that the target becomes directly actionable in the opportunity record. Contacts linked to opportunities will be properly labeled within the work queue. Clicking on the card will open up both opportunity records and contact records. The sales engagement component on the opportunity record home will enable reps to target and engage with multiple contacts in a single pane of glass. This component on the opportunity record home is also available in wide and narrow view. Cadence dispositioning enables users to define business outcomes of its assignment. Opportunities that are linked during assignment will be marked as attributed for opportunity advancement. New or existing opportunities can also be created and selected so that it can be attributed to the cadence for its creation. You can edit your sales cadence outcome via the drop-down menu on the previous step. Edit is also supported programmatically via our invocable action. The previous selected disposition related to the opportunity and attribution event will appear upon entering the edited disposition modal. Dispositions will be captured either directly through user input or automatically based on auto exit and branching. Opportunities will be linked as either activated or maturation based on user-determined attribution event types during cadence removal. When editing the CRT layout, an admin can opt to pull additional opportunity fields from our new lookup relationship. We have additional metrics now available that will display aggregated engagement metrics grouped by monthly buckets. Let's take a look at the exciting new features planned in the High Velocity Sales Roadmap. First, we have A/B testing for call scripts and email templates. We will also enable you to edit after activation and version a sales cadence. Next, we will expand our step types by adding a new LinkedIn InMail step. Lastly, we'll add more cadence automation. Thank you so much for listening. This was just a subset of all the features that we're shipping to you this release. Now, I'm going to hand off to another Sales Cloud product manager. Take it away, Namita.
Thank you, Samir. Hi, everyone. I'm Namita Sehgal. I'm a product manager at Sales Cloud Activities Platform team. Today, I'm going to walk you through some of the exciting features for Salesforce Meetings and Einstein Activity Capture that are coming out as part of Spring 21 release. Let's take a quick look.
Let's start with Salesforce Meetings. In this digital world, 81% of sales professionals are conducting more customer interactions via video conferencing with limited face-to-face meetings. And 88% of buyers agree that the salespeople they ultimately do business with are their trusted advisors. In today's world, when our customers have gone digital, there is an unsaid need to move faster than before. And Salesforce Meetings is here to not just enable you, but to help you excel through this journey. Salesforce Meetings is here to make your sales teams more productive by making their customer meetings more engaging and efficient. And the best part is, it can work with any video conferencing platform. With Salesforce Meetings, your teams will have access to a consolidated meeting summary to enable quick preparations. This summary reflects details about attendees, recent engagements with the customer, and additional meeting insights. Second, they will be able to engage effectively during the video call via a heads-up display, presenters panel which gives them access to meeting details, and Quip to collaborate on tasks like agenda and taking notes internally. Third, with our meeting intelligence algorithms, get smart next action recommendations. It will never let you forget any details or actions that are critical to your customer relationships. Last and most importantly, you can help your sales team grow via call coaching. After the call is over, you can go back and check key highlights on how your sales rep did and what areas they need to work on. We will get into the details on how call coaching enables managers and admins in our next section, led by my colleague Madeline. Now, let's take a deeper look into what's coming with Spring 21 GA of Salesforce Meetings. Your sales user typically spends anywhere between minutes to hours preparing for a meeting by navigating to different information sources like CRM records, emails, notes, etc. With the Meeting Digest, everything the rep needs to be contextually aware going into a meeting is on a single page. For instance, the Enhanced Attendees list display corresponding CRM records for quick reference. Sales users are made aware if a key attendee hasn't RSVP'd or if a new attendee has been added to the meeting. Key fields from related records like opportunities and accounts are easily accessible. And last, sales users can build agendas, document talking points, or collaborate with internal attendees using Anywhere Quip integration. Now, once the sales user is in the meeting with the customer, everything they need during the call is easily accessible to them. They can make a splash during their meeting by using Meeting Studio to deliver an enhanced audience experience. A presenter's panel integrated with Meeting Studio let them take notes, access CRM, and collaborate internally via Anywhere Quip integration, just like in the preparation phase. They can also switch focus between content and video to guide the audience's attention while on a video call. Associating content with Meeting Studio lets users switch between various types of presentation content, like slides to spreadsheets, seamlessly. Don't worry, that's a lot of information to take in, and we will go through it again during our demo. Now, let's chat a bit about how you can get access to meetings. Meetings will be available to all Sales Cloud customers with Unlimited or Performance Edition. And in addition, it also requires you to have a calendar sync solution such as Lightning Sync, Einstein Activity Capture, or any third-party solution enabled. Before switching gears and moving to our next product, I wanted to talk about a commonly asked question. Is Meetings here to replace video conferencing tools? The answer is no. Salesforce Meeting isn't a video calling solution. Instead, it is a two-way bridge between CRM and web conferencing systems like Teams, Zoom, and WebEx. In addition to Salesforce Meetings, another productivity boosting friend of yours in this digital era is Einstein Activity Capture. And we are back with yet another set of exciting features this release. With our latest profile support, your job of maintaining sync configurations, specifically the adding and removing of users, becomes faster and more automated. You gain finer grained control over which Salesforce fields sync to which Microsoft fields, and you can even choose certain fields not to sync at all with our customizable field mapping options in configurations. And with our improved event sync performance, any updates made to a calendar event in Outlook or Gmail can now sync over to Salesforce in minutes. Now let's switch gears and talk about roadmap. We have heard your feedback loud and clear, and it helped us prioritize our roadmap for the coming releases. Let's see what's on our roadmap for Salesforce Meetings first. We understand the importance of a follow-up in the sales cycle, and we plan to add additional intelligent insights to enable your teams. With our upcoming integrations with Teams and Zoom, CRM becomes your source of truth for all activities and reflects contextual insights based on what happened during the meeting. As always, we want your experience to be the best. With the richer administrative configurations and improved onboarding experience, getting started is just minutes away. And now for Einstein Activity Capture, we will be focusing on enterprise-level features in the coming releases. In our series of letting admins globally authenticate connections on behalf of their teams, we will be adding support for service accounts on on-prem Exchange. Next, a console to enable you overview connection statuses for each user. We want your teams to be onboarded quickly, and we plan on improving onboarding performance for you. And last, a potential pilot of the feature that will allow you to sync data without storing on AWS at all. Now let's get into the demo. We will be doing a demo for Salesforce Meetings today. Let's meet Sarah. Sarah works at a consulting firm, Globex Inc. Her team has been struggling with the digital transformation of her clientele. She decided to onboard her team to use Salesforce Meetings to help them with this transition. Let's see how she did the setup. Sarah logs into her Salesforce account. On the top right corner, she sees a panel highlighting Meeting Studio. She can either directly access setup from the Take Me There button or simply go to the gear icon right above to access the setup page. From the setup page, she did a quick search on meetings and found Meetings under Sales. She then goes to Meetings settings from there. On the Meeting settings page, Sarah reviews the system requirements via the quick link. After that, she enables Salesforce Meetings with the toggle and assigns perm sets to her team of sales rep for access to Salesforce Meetings. Now that the setup is complete by Sarah, let's see what her team is experiencing. Let's meet Derek. Derek reports to Sarah and is really looking forward to trying out Salesforce Meetings to equip him with necessary tools. His biggest concern with selling going digital has been winning customers' trust. He has been so overwhelmed with learning digital tools while trying to make a great impression during his virtual customer calls that he is not getting enough time to prepare ahead of time or follow up afterwards. Let's see how he has been utilizing meetings for his upcoming meeting with Acme Corp. Derek likes to plan ahead for his week, and looking at his calendar, he realizes that he has an upcoming leadership introduction with this new opportunity, Acme Corp. He then clicks the event and is taken to an event summary page. Note that you can also land on the summary page by directly looking up the event by the name. On the meeting summary page, he reviews the enhanced attendees list on the meeting digest that displays CRM records for event attendees. This lets Derek quickly access the key decision makers and additional details on the audiences. He then scans relevant records and related fields on the right hand side. Meeting intelligence takes the busy work out of Derek's day. It highlights if any of the key attendees have not accepted or have denied the meeting invite, ensuring that the meeting is set up for success. Just scrolling down, Derek finds like he can review any recent and past activities with customer via a timeline. He can create, edit, and view documents associated with the meetings or related to the parent accounts or opportunity. And he can also share this with his team ahead of time. Last, Derek can launch the video call and meeting studio from within the event by just clicking the Launch Meeting button. On the meeting studio, Derek can add a camera to his view. He can also choose to add content for sharing during the meeting. He may choose to add up to 3 content sources to the studio to enable smooth transition between different contents, like slides to Excel, smoothly. Meeting Studio makes it possible for him to guide the audience's focus based on the topic in discussion. Derek can also choose to customize the background or change camera settings from the Quick Access panel. He can choose between a standard background or opt to add a personalized one of his choice. When Meeting Studio is associated with a meeting, Derek will also have access to a Presenters panel. Presenters panel give him access to CRM data and actions. This also lets him take notes using Quip or collaborate with internal stakeholders during the meeting.
All right, this concludes our demo for today. Thank you everyone for joining me to hear about Salesforce Meetings and Einstein Activity Capture. And now I will pass it over to Madeline to talk about Einstein call coaching and other Einstein features.
Hi, my name is Madeline Gill, and I'm a product manager in Sales Cloud. Some of you may recognize me from previous Release Readiness Lives, and today I'm here and excited to talk about what's new for Einstein call coaching and opportunity scoring in Spring 21. I'll get started with exciting new capabilities available with Einstein call coaching. For those unfamiliar with Einstein call coaching, it identifies key moments in a call, such as product or competitor mentions and custom keywords. It listens and tracks anything that matters to you. It allows managers to jump directly to these coachable moments and provide feedback to the team. It also allows you to spot trends of mentions and make sure your team has everything they need to have great sales calls. So what's new in Spring 21? We know a lot of our customers are using Zoom for virtual meetings, especially in this time of remote work. With Einstein call coaching, sales teams can now watch the recordings of Zoom video calls directly within Salesforce without having to switch context. That's pretty great, and that's not all. In addition to watching the videos, reps and managers can gain insight from them. Video calls can be fast-forwarded to key insights and coachable moments that help sales teams learn best practices and win more deals. With standard and custom insights derived from video calls, sales managers now have a powerful tool to boost sales performance, coach sales teams, and close more deals than ever before. For example, sales managers can play recordings of conversations to gain visibility into mentions of competitors, products, custom keywords, pricing discussions, and next steps. We know managers struggle with preparing for one-on-ones and team meetings, and it's especially difficult if their team is now remote. Sales managers can now be better equipped to have one-on-ones with reps and team meetings by reviewing relevant insights in video calls. Managers can jump directly to key insights on the team's video calls to learn about best practices and challenges and sales reps' experience, and coach the team to scale best practices. How else are we better equipping managers in Spring 21? Well, managers want to be able to share examples of good calls. For example, ones where a rep handles an objection well, with the rest of their team to coach and scale best practices. With call collections, a manager can easily categorize and create a set of calls to share with their team to streamline coaching and training. A sales manager can create call collections by adding their reps' voice and video calls to a grouping called a collection. They can share these collections with reps, giving them easy access to all of the calls in the collection so they can learn from top-performing teammates or align on messaging. I'll give a demo of these new functionalities in a moment, but first I'll cover what's new for Einstein Opportunity Scoring. Einstein Opportunity Scoring helps sales reps focus on the right deals every time. It analyzes past opportunities to create a model that predicts which opportunities are most likely to be won. Each opportunity is given a score from 1 to 99, which is available on opportunity records and in list views. Einstein also shows the factors that have contributed the most to the score, both positively and negatively. For example, a score might be relatively high because the opportunity is moving quickly through the stages compared to other opportunities. Before Spring 21, opportunity scoring built a unique predictive model based on each customer's own Salesforce data. This single customer model is great if you have enough historical data in your org, but not everyone does. For example, companies that are new to Salesforce or to a particular Salesforce object, or smaller companies, aren't likely to meet the data requirements for all Sales Cloud Einstein features. But now, in Spring 21, with global models for opportunity scoring, all customers can benefit from opportunity scoring, even if they don't have a lot of data. Global models combine data from multiple Salesforce orgs to create a predictive model that can be used by many. Now, I'll share a demo of the new call coaching functionality in Spring 21. I'm a sales manager who is always looking for ways to better coach my team so that they can close more deals and minimize time to close. Call coaching helps me do just that. I can easily surface key moments in my team's conversations
so that I can gain visibility into how my team is working and coach them to improve. I can also gain insight into the types of conversations my team is having and surface insights that can help me continuously update and align my team on messaging and sales process. What is new in Spring 21 that can help me do even more of that? I always start my day by opening the call coaching app. Most of my sales team is selling virtually these days, and we rely on video calls with customers to develop relationships and close deals. Now I can watch my team's Zoom video calls in Salesforce without having to toggle between apps. And as usual, I see dashboards of all the keyword mentions I've been tracking, so I can understand trends in my team's calls. I know someone from my team had a call with an important customer yesterday, so I want to check in and see how that conversation is going, and I can scroll down to see the recent calls my team has had. I can watch this Zoom call right within Salesforce in the call coaching app. I can view the meeting participants and details about the meeting alongside the recording to give me all the context I need. Even better, the same insights that I love accessing on my team's voice calls are now available for their video calls. I can see which of the keywords have been mentioned in this call, and by clicking on one, I can navigate right to the portion of the call where it's mentioned. For example, I know some of my team has been having issues handling competitive deals, and so I want to navigate directly to the competitor mentions so I can understand what conversations are being had and coach my rep accordingly. Now, I quickly have an understanding of how this rep's important deals are going, as well as opportunities for me to coach him. I navigate back to the app homepage to see if I can get better visibility into the rest of the team and our current messaging. I navigate to the mentions dashboard, and it seems like COVID-19 is coming up a lot in my team's conversations, so I want to make sure I'm coaching them on how to best adapt our messaging during this time. My top performers have done a great job adjusting their messaging during COVID, and they've closed more deals as a result. But how can I easily scale these best practices of top performers to the rest of my team? Now, in Spring 21, I can more easily do that with call collections. I have a new call collections tab in my app that allows me to create groups of calls and easily share them with my reps. I can view the collections I've created, or create a new collection. This time, I want to create a new collection that includes examples of the best reps' calls who have aligned with our new messaging around COVID. I can now add calls from my best reps to this collection. I know Rami has done a great job in his most recent calls aligning with our messaging, and he's been closing a lot of deals as a result. I can easily add 2 examples of his calls to the collection. Now that I've curated this collection, I can easily share these example calls with all of my reps so they can learn from them. I can share the collection with individual reps or with groups I've already created. With call collections, I can easily scale process, making sure our team is aligned on messaging and help all of my reps learn from the top performers.
That was the demo. Now I'll pass it back to Elna for some Q&A.
Great. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we're ready to dive into Q&A now. So let's see what questions we have. Let's start with one for Emmett. So regarding the soft bounce feature, what should users do if their emails soft bounce?
Great question. Like I said in the presentation, a soft bounce is different from a hard bounce in that it's not the end of the opportunity to contact them. It's not like a hard bounce where you just can't reach someone permanently, because with a soft bounce, you can try again in 24 to 72 hours. You can reduce the size of your email and check that the email doesn't have too many large attachments. And you can also reach out to any email domains that you think might be blocking your email and see if you are violating any special parameters they have.
Gotcha. And it generally means you do have to resend the email, correct?
Yes, you would want to try again, and after fixing anything that you diagnosed to be wrong.
So I know sometimes there are these types of bounces where it says it's going to retry. Like
it's not going to flag it if it just is like in that retry mode. It's going to wait till after all those retries, and then it will say, yeah, didn't get through due to some condition other than a bad email address.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And our UI
Gotcha.
will show you that it's a soft bounce, like I demoed.
Great. And there was a related question about that. I'm trying to find it. So Cindy wanted to know, is there some sort of visual indicator on the contact or lead activity history that will show clearly that there was a soft bounce? Or where do you see it? Like, how do you notice these?
Currently, you only see it in the UI that I showed in the email thread.
Got it. Okay, so how else would you be able to be alerted to these if you're not looking at the email thread? Is there like a reports, or would it show in a list view or other places?
Those are all great ideas that we'll incorporate into our roadmap.
Okay, thanks. Another question for you. Can I convert a lead into multiple business and person accounts at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. You can leverage the lead convert class to attach a person account to a business account. And remember, this is via API. And so you can customize your code in your org to be however you want. Our API is just a set of tools for you to be able to customize in whatever format or structure you would like.
Right. Thank you. And when is the mobile forecasting adjustment feature going to be available, and who can see the comments you make on those forecasting adjustments?
On the forecasting adjustments, you and your manager can see the comments that you make. And as for when it'll be available, we're rolling out all the release features in the next 2 weeks. And so depending on what batch you're in, you will definitely get all the features by the 15th of February.
Gotcha. Are there some App Store production or publishing dates that are different from the regular Salesforce release? Or are they coordinated at roughly the same time?
I'm not sure about the App Store, but we do roll them out in batches just to scale and make sure that no orgs go down, and to also allow sandbox orgs to access the features first for testing purposes.
Gotcha. Okay. And what about more forecasting features on the roadmap? Do you have anything you want to share?
Yeah, it's nice to hear that people are so excited about forecasting. We have a slew of features to make sure that forecasting becomes more flexible. So in addition to the custom measures that I mentioned, we'll also be proactively allowing people to forecast up to 7 types. So right now you can get up to 7 types by going through support, and we just want to eliminate that barrier for our users and just allow people as much flexibility as they want. And as a matter of fact, right now, most orgs only use 1 to 2 types. And so we're really trying to make this an expansive experience for users and be able to forecast by up to 7 types. And so this would mean that you can forecast by things like product family and territory. And with our custom measures in place and custom categories and dates, you'll be able to really customize forecasting to the exact experience that your org wants.
Well, speaking of customizing forecasting, when you're using all those types, you might have lots of opportunities in your forecast. And maybe, as Kotai asks, maybe you want to exclude certain ones. For example, like based on certain criteria, like let's say, I don't want opportunities of record type X in my forecast. Is that a customization that might be available soon?
That's a great question. And I know that this particular idea has had some traction on Idea Exchange. So it definitely seems like a popular idea out there. Currently, it's not on our roadmap, but what you can do today is add a rule in your org to set the forecast category of the opportunities that you want excluded to be omitted. And the omitted forecast category excludes those opportunities from your forecast rollups.
Great, thank you. So Namita, we have a few questions on Salesforce Meetings. So let's dive in. First of all, a couple of people, Cindy and Kotai, are wondering, is there additional cost for Salesforce Meetings? If you could cover that.
Sure. Yeah. So there's no additional cost to Salesforce Meetings. It's a packaged product which you get when you are a Sales Cloud Unlimited Edition customer. So Unlimited actually and Performance Edition, I must add.
So what about Inbox or other types of additional products? Does it come with any of those?
No, so it doesn't require any additional add-on licenses, as I said. So you do not have to have Inbox, but you may have Inbox. But at the same time, you should be a Unlimited Edition or a Performance Edition customer for you to be able to see that.
So Beverly points out, what about Enterprise Edition and other more popular editions? Is that coming?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've been hearing that from our pilot feedback as well. So that is part of our roadmap, but we don't have any committed timeline to it yet, but we are definitely looking into it.
And you said it's not included in things like Inbox. And Brittany was also asking about that. What about the future of that? Are you considering making that part of the package?
That's not the plan. That's not the plan. The idea is to keep it as part of the edition offerings, essentially. So essentially, if you are some sort of a premium customer, like Unlimited Edition, Performance Edition, and eventually, if things happen, Enterprise Edition, you will get meetings.
So this is really a core Salesforce feature or Sales Cloud feature, not separate. You can't really have it separate from Sales Cloud unless you have, I guess, or it's based on the edition. Is what you said.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, couple questions on HBS from Hannah. Can you add opportunities to a case list in bulk based on specific criteria?
That's a great question. So not only can you do it via the UI, but we also added it as a parameter to our add to cadence API. So you absolutely can do it.
Thank you. So Irina wants to know, for the Einstein activity capture pilot, will EAC captured messages be a first class object?
I have to go back and check. So we'll get back to you and give you that answer. Great question.
Okay. And Leah asks, with Einstein activity capture, is there a roadmap or a discussion on making a free version? We know that 100 licenses are currently in our org, but we have yet to move to Lightning Sync from Lightning Sync, the free option. As we have more than 100 users, we would want to use ECI. So are you planning on expanding the free licenses beyond 100? I guess is what she's asking.
Within HVS, EAC is included. So that's within high velocity sales. We can go back from an org perspective and get that answer for you.
Okay. Yeah. So I think she. Okay.
I can add some more detail. Thanks, Samir, for sharing that out. So for Einstein activity capture individually, we do have plans on our roadmap to offer that out without needing any additional licenses. That's like the initiative under the work still. We do not have a timeline, but it is part of our immediate to midterm roadmap.
So that would be folks who don't have HVS. Maybe
Correct. Yes.
So expanding
they can still use, yeah.
Thank you. Another question about Salesforce Meetings from Barry. Was it available or is it available in preview sandboxes?
Not yet. So Sandbox and production environments will be enabled with Meetings after the release Spring 21 will hit on all the environments, all the pods internally, which is February 15th. So give or take 1 day, all the sandboxes and prod environments will have that.
Great, thank you. And Mayumi is asking about Einstein call coaching. Do we have to record all Zoom calls?
Great question. No, as with any recording provider for call coaching, it's only going to analyze the calls that you choose to record within that provider. So if you're using Zoom for meetings, you'll still abide by the same Zoom recording policies that you've configured within Zoom. So we'll only analyze and upload the ones that have been recorded via Zoom.
Gotcha. Another question about call coaching from Dawn. Does it require HVS or could you just use it if you're using Zoom?
Yeah, great question. I saw this come up a few times already in the Trailblazer community. As of today, you do need high velocity sales licenses to be able to use Einstein call coaching. However, Safe Harbor in the future, hopefully in the coming release, we will extract the Einstein call coaching capabilities from the HVS license such that if you have HVS, you'll still get it included, but that will also sell it as a separate SKU so anyone can leverage it.
Great. So if it is available separately from HVS, it would still be essentially an add-on.
Yes.
But you wouldn't need to, it would require all the other features that are in HVS. Thanks. That was from Shannon. I think that answered your question as well. And then Bawana has a question on forecasting. Is there any workaround to use dated exchange rates in forecasting?
Sorry, Elna, was that directed towards me?
I think so, yes. So using international currency, right? Any workaround to dated exchange rates? So obviously if you've got exchange rates, you don't always know what it's going to be in the future. So
in forecasting, not currently on the roadmap, but in terms of opportunities, we do have a lot of exciting features coming up that will be utilizing the dated exchange rates.
Great. A couple more questions. So do you need to do any special setup to enable the calendar home feature?
The optimal calendar home feature currently does not need special setup other than the admin defining user lists. So the admin needs to define what users they want in, let's say, West Coast marketing team or something like that. And then they can push out the optimal calendar home format for all the users and all those lists.
Great, thanks for that. A couple of HVS questions here for Samir. Does HVS work in Salesforce Classic? Not that anyone's still using Classic, but just in case.
Yeah, no, high velocity sales works on Lightning only. It doesn't work in Classic, but that's a great question. Yeah.
And can you add your own custom dispositions?
You can. So you can definitely add your own custom dispositions, leveraging our metadata API. So absolutely. Yeah.
And what if you're a super efficient admin and you love to automate stuff? Can you automate opportunity assignments?
Yes, you can do that again via the APIs. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, what about the objects supported under HVS? Can you go over that?
Yes. So currently we support leads, contacts, person accounts. And then in this release, like you saw, you're able to attach that contact and opportunity and work on the opportunity object itself. So yeah, expanding our objects that we support.
Excellent. So what about Lightning Dialer? Is that included in HVS or is that a separate add-on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Lightning Dialer is a separate add-on. We also, through the App Exchange, support third-party partners. And they are able to integrate into high velocity sales via our open CTI APIs.
So that gives you that flexibility. If you have another CTI solution already in place, you can just plug that in. Otherwise, you have Lightning Dialer as another option, but it's not required. So that's, I guess, one of the reasons why it's separate, so that you don't pay for things that you don't need, right?
Absolutely. Yep. You've invested in your infrastructure. So we're giving you the opportunity to enable that.
And so for those folks who do have already have a CTI solution in place, is there a list somewhere they could get for which ones are supported, or are they generally all supported that have certain, I guess, like API capabilities, or how can you find out if your solution would be supported?
Yeah, everything is listed on the App Exchange page, and it's listed the ones that have integrated via call coaching or just generally with high velocity sales. It's all listed on the App Exchange.
Great. Speaking of Einstein call coaching, does it record calls?
It does not record calls. We take calls from the CTI, and it comes into Salesforce, and then Einstein will then go ahead and start to analyze the calls.
And This a couple of questions for Namita again. Can customers use or test meetings today if they want to just try it out?
Yeah,
Maybe in a sandbox or yeah.
As I just said, the meetings is not at least the GA features are not available on sandbox and prod environments yet. All these environments will be enabled after Feb 15. So essentially, we are waiting for every single pod to be up to date with Spring 21, and that's when we actually trigger the enablement of meetings. But you do have an option to participate in pilot. If you were already like looking out or in conversations with your account teams, feel free. You have a couple of weeks still left. And if you're curious how the pilot was working, you have time. We can manage to work that out. But I'll still say, like, why go through that paperwork for the pilot? Why don't just wait for like 2 weeks?
Couple weeks.
Yeah. Wait for the cool GA features to be out.
So what about the folks who are waiting for those other additions? Is there gonna be another pilot for enterprise or something like that coming up?
We do not have a firm plan yet, unfortunately. I am not at the liberty to share that out yet. We are internally in the discussions to figure out how to enable enterprise folks. We do hear your concern, and this is not the first forum I'm hearing interest from the enterprise edition customers. We definitely hear your concerns, and we are internally discussing how to enable you all.
Great. And then one more question. Why do meetings require a calendar sync solution?
Right, that's a great question. I like it. So imagine meetings to be your enabler for getting into the meeting and during the meeting, right? Like how it revolves around the ecosystem of your conversation with the customer, which unfortunately in this given world is all remote and virtual. So the syncing solution kind of gives us the sneak peek of the latest update or latest status of your meeting. So if you were to change or add any new attendee in your meeting, which usually we have seen customers doing that out of your Outlook or Gmail, we want to make sure Salesforce know about that. So we can reflect correctly on your meeting preparation summary. At the same time, we reflect the attendee acceptance status so you can action accordingly before getting into the meeting.
Great. Well, thank you. I think we have reached the end of the questions. So maybe we're going to give you a few minutes back in your day so you can get ready for our next broadcast. So thanks everybody for joining. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Keep your questions coming in the community, especially. We will follow up with you and answer them later today or in the next couple of days. And also remember that all of these webcasts will be available on the Salesforce Live website for later viewing. And I hope that you'll all just come on back, just get a cup of coffee or grab some lunch and come back again at 11 Pacific for Tableau CRM, which is going to be super exciting. So come back for that, get your questions ready. And I really can't wait to see how you're using new features to innovate. So let's keep the conversation going out there in the community where all trailblazers meet to be release ready. Thanks all.